Hi, everybody. I'm Richard Steenan, the founder of IT-Harvest, a data-driven industry analyst firm that covers cybersecurity. Today, we're walking through the Analyst Dashboard, the only platform for researching the entire cybersecurity industry. Simply go to IT-Harvest.com and click on Dashboard. That pops you over to our dashboard page, which basically is a customized view of your data. So you can have your saved lists there, recently viewed vendors that you've looked at, and a click button to contact an analyst. That would be me in this case. To dig into the tool, you just go right over to Explore Vendors. And this is a very simple layout of a filtering system to give you insights into all the vendors that we track. Today, there are 3,698 vendors in the database. We display them here in the search summary by country, just so you can get a quick view of how many vendors are in the United States versus Israel versus UK. You can see 1,945 in the US, so pretty much two-thirds, a little less than two-thirds of the cybersecurity vendors we track are in the US. And then the categories. I'll dig into the categories because these are all search filters or filter categories that you can go through. You can filter on the country, so you might only be interested in looking at vendors in Croatia, and you can click on that. You can even look at vendors in various cities. A lot of our users do that when they're traveling to a city. They might have a meeting with one vendor, if they're investors, for instance, and they want to meet other vendors. The ones to look for might be the ones headquartered in that city as well. And then categories is easily the most value add we have to the data, right? We're definitely curating a lot of data. We're pulling it all together in one place so you don't have to go anywhere else to find it. But the one thing that we add is we categorize what the vendors actually do. Put them in one of these top 17 buckets and 660 subcategories, even more refined groupings, and finally tags if there's something that doesn't fit the rest. So, Gartner-esque terms like DSPM, CASB, moving target defense, we tag the vendors with that so you can quickly get to the ones that you're interested in. We also add product tags, and product tags are derived from basically scanning all the product data that each vendor has on their website. And this is just another way to search. It actually dives into our product search capability, which I'll show you in a second. But once you've thought about the category of what you're looking at and the region that you're looking at, you probably want to do some sizing filtering, and we can filter directly on headcount. So you might say out of those 3,698 vendors, we're only going to look at the ones with at least 100 people and no more than 500 people. And just apply a quick search. Immediately get a feel for how big that is. That's 562, so a 12th or 6th of all the vendors we track. And you can quickly sort the results, which are paged, so you can page through them by headcount, so you can see the ones with close to 500 in them right away. And you can also customize which columns you're looking at. So right now we've got the category. They'll take out the subcategory, take out the product tags. We've got the headcount and take out the valuation. Total funding is still there, but you might want to look at 2023 growth because that's going to be interesting. And you might actually want to basically sort on 2023 growth. So now we've got a list of 562 vendors who have grown the most in 2023, and some of these are extremely interesting, and gives you just a completely different view than you normally would have looked at as you're paging through these. And of course, some of these names, Sierra Island, you'll recognize right away because they're high flying, but some other ones might not be as familiar to you. More filters down from headcount, size, and growth for each year, funding and revenue. So funding basically use these two things. Out of those 500 some vendors, how many have received, over $20 million? Just apply a search, get a new filter applied. Now we're talking 319. No surprise that the fastest growing vendors have also received funding. Quite often is the case. Not always that they're always that way, but most often. And then a final filtering that you can apply is ones that attend particular conferences. So if you have attended or are going to attend a conference, you can scroll through the conferences we track or quickly search on Black Hat Europe, which just occurred right there, and add another search on top of those. So search these 319 and see how many of those actually showed up at Black Hat. 28. So this might indicate that they have more mature operations in Europe or moving into Europe, etc. But also gives you a feel for the health of the company that they're exhibiting at Black Hat. So those are the filters. Let's look at a company. I like to use Fortinet as an example, partly because I work there. I'm fairly familiar with their operations. And this is what a vendor page looks like. So we've got every single vendor that we track. We have a page like this for it. We've got a complete description of the company. We've got our categorizations laid out for you. We track growth. So this is headcount every month. We've taken this data from LinkedIn, and yet our data seems to be more granular than LinkedIn's data. They don't, even if you've got a premium account with LinkedIn, they only show you 2 years worth of data. They no longer allow you to hover over months and see what the data was in any particular month. So they're removing what they give you now. And they seem to do some sort of backwards averaging because their data is always very smooth. They don't show little bumps like this one that occurred in May across most of the vendors. Our funding data is broken out by year, but also by series. And you can see the actual individual investors. Now, for most companies, there's a lot more funding information there. Fortinet, of course, took in only a couple of rounds. The founder, Ken Z, had a reputation from his experience at NetScreen and raised money to build the first appliances, and claims, he told me anyways, they raised $15 million that they never spent in their last round. So that was this 2004 round. Whenever you see these investors, you can click on their investor portfolio button, and you can see, in this case, Redpoint Ventures has 18 cybersecurity investments. You can look at their entire portfolio, scroll down through it. You can export the portfolio into a spreadsheet. You can add it to a list of vendors to track. Very, very powerful capabilities. Under revenue and health, we've got a health metric that we've come up with, and it is based on that headcount momentum growth, number of locations, whether the founders had previous experience at cybersecurity companies. It's just another way to help discern differences between companies if you want to stack rank them that way. And we give the average and median for the category, which of course is network security. We also track Glassdoor data, which you can see here, and G2, and then number of website visitors per month and the month-over-month growth. Same with LinkedIn followers. So, and then under personnel, we've got key leadership in various categories. We've got insights as to where those employees work, where they came, where they reside, and then their breakdown by department, and then job listings as well. So, in this case, Fortinet's got 989 active job listings, only 30 in the last 5 days. But you can actually, go look at the description for these. We've captured all the text for the job descriptions. This is also from LinkedIn. It's something that I hope in the near future to use to extract technology terms from their job postings for engineers and get a pretty good feel of the tech stack that the company is running. Fortinet probably has one of everything, but some organizations probably have a specific tech stack they're using for their product. And then our newest addition in the last 4 weeks is we've added products. So we've always had the major product for each company. Now we are in the process of gathering all products for all vendors. And that's going to turn into the only existing catalog, essentially, of all cybersecurity products that you can purchase. And we did this kind of the same thing that we did with companies to write their descriptions. We did that for products, so we got the product name, product description, and then features of the product. And then probably the coolest thing that we did was we lined up the product with the MITRE ATT&CK techniques that they are good for defending against. And you just click through for all the products. I personally find this easier to navigate than the vendor's web page themselves, right? Because they've got drop downs and they've got matrices, and it's kind of hard to just quickly get to, the FortiAuthenticator, which is Fortinet's token, FortiDDoS defense, etc. So that's pretty cool, having all the products associated. You learn everything you need to know about a company practically without leaving this page. But we're grabbing all those products. We're coming close to 6,000 products that we've grabbed and categorized and created all the keyword tags in them. So, for instance, even though I went through a process where I looked at every vendor's website, and if I ran into one that talked about post-quantum encryption, I would, put them in a data security encryption category, but may not. There may be plenty of vendors that have some sort of post-quantum solution that isn't evident at the front of the page, but is evident in their product description. So you might just want to do a search on quantum, and that keyword search, do a quick search, and find 68 solutions that talk about quantum, probably quantum cryptography. And you can then delve deeper into those and hopefully surface vendors' products that you wouldn't have heard about just from looking at how they're classified as vendors. And then, of course, the newest feature added just this week at the end of December is a MITRE ATT&CK search capability. So if there's a particular MITRE ATT&CK technique that you're interested in defending against, you just click on it, and now we've got all the tools that work against this hijack execution flow, and you can zip through those and evaluate them, get to the next stage where you might reach out to the vendors, all without ever having to, of course, reach the vendors. Right? This is essentially what we've built is a search tool for cybersecurity vendor products. Still in beta, still working on fine-tuning it, and certainly, if we're at 6,000 products, I estimate now that we'll have 18,000 by the time we're done, and it's coming. The product data is coming in very fast. Right, it's all automated right now. We're just watching it closely and pausing it, evaluating it, etc. It's quite a complicated process to get it, but it is automated. So within 4 weeks, end of January, we'll have all those products, or at least first pass of getting all the products. So look at that's the Analyst Dashboard. Please feel free to reach out. All you have to do is go to you can go to IT-Harvest and click Get a Demo to ask us to talk about a demo. You've just watched a demo. And of course, I have bi-weekly live demos that introduce quick overviews of the latest features and capabilities. So looking forward to hearing from you.